What's up, guys? I just finished walking the dogs after I saw my husband off to work. Weather's getting kind of gross outside, so we only did a mile this morning. But I'm about to head over to the apartment gym since I'm just doing abs today. Gonna do some abs and probably walk on the treadmill a little bit to finish getting my steps in for the day since the weather's kind of meh today. And then I'm gonna come home, get ready for my work day, probably do a little journaling, and then get on the computer to start working a little bit. Maybe do some posing later this afternoon once I'm done working. Who knows? We'll see. I'm going to include some of my meals for the day, my snack, my lunch, and probably my dinner for the day. I am practicing plant-based dieting right now, so if you are also doing plant-based or you're interested in plant-based, stay tuned for some meal ideas. Otherwise, I will be back in a bit. I just finished up my workout at the gym, walked a little bit. It is just a little bit after 10 and I've got 6,000 of my steps in. I try to shoot for 10,000 a day. Also got about 56 ounces of water down. I shoot for 128 ounces of water a day. And I poured myself in my favorite mug from my mother-in-law just a half a cup of coffee to finish off the pot this morning. Got myself cleaned up, and I just wanted to come on real quick before I head into my work day and talk to y'all a little bit about my improvement season, since this is my last week of my improvement season. Finally starting prep next week. I'm so freaking thrilled to start prep. Almost spilled my coffee on myself. I'm freaking excited to start prep. I've been like begging to start forever, but I had vacation last week and wanted to be able to enjoy my vacation. And so now that I'm back and have had a week of just being back on track, we're gonna go ahead and start my prep on Sunday. So I have already talked in my other videos kind of about up until now where I've been. I wanted to recap a little bit for those who haven't watched. I'm just gonna do this briefly because those of you that have watched already know this kind of, but if you haven't watched, be sure to go back and watch my other videos about my life really, so you can learn a little bit about me before you start watching my channel. If you have watched already, thank you so much for following along in my journey. I'm super excited to share this part of my journey with you guys because competing is one of the things I'm very, very passionate about, and it's been a while since I've been on stage, so I'm super stoked to be sharing these things with you. Anyway, so being my last week of my improvement season, I just kind of want to catch y'all up to where I am. So I started my improvement season back, I guess, the end of October 2020 after my last competition I did. I wanted to take a pretty good improvement season because I knew I needed to put on quite a bit of muscle to be competitive on the national stage, even though I've been nationally qualified for a while. So I already knew I wanted to take a good amount of time off of the stage, but what I didn't know is that I was going to have a huge mental struggle coming off the stage. I got really bad post-show blues, started having body image issues, binge eating, ended up in a partial hospitalization program. I wasn't working out for a while. I wasn't tracking my food for a while. I gained a significant amount of weight. I gained, I think at my heaviest, I was 50 pounds above what my last stage weight was, more than that for my very first stage weight, and I was just not in a very good place. Anyways, went through my partial hospitalization program. I was able to grieve the loss of my stage lean body and fix my body image issues as well as my binge eating issues. I have not binged in months, and let me tell y'all, that is a huge accomplishment. For those of you who have dealt with or are dealing with binge eating, you know going months without binging is a huge deal. So I've not had a bad body image day probably in months either, probably since my partial hospitalization programs. I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel fluffy some days, I feel bloated, like I ate too much, but I haven't been like just like hating my body probably since that time. So if you haven't had the opportunity to grieve the loss of something other than a human being, make sure to take the time to do that. It's a powerful, powerful tool that I learned during my partial hospitalization. And just mentally, period, finding the right medication balance and finding better coping mechanisms that work for me. I have been able to just stay a little bit more stable during this time, and I know that I have grown so much mentally that I am just like, I feel like that is why I am deserving of my pro card coming into this season. Like, I just have this feeling in my gut that I will turn pro this year. Just because of the mental growth. Like, physically, I have grown a ton too, which eventually you'll see as I start to prep and diet down some. I'll be posting more pictures of like comparisons, just so you can get an idea of how much muscle growth I've had over this time. But I think mentally, and mentally, I'm in such a better place now that it's my time. And so I'm just super excited to be starting prep. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to let y'all know where I am. So yeah, stay tuned. Sunday, I will be starting prep. I do not know which shows I'm going to be competing yet in this year. I just am starting prep. We're going to take it slow, see how my body responds, and kind of go from there. I don't have any set show dates that I want to do. I would like to do one show here locally so that I don't have to hash out so much on the expenses. And I'd also like to do a show in the Sacramento area, just so same thing, I could stay with my in-laws and get to compete close to them. Hopefully get them to be able to come to my show, because I haven't actually had anyone really come to my shows in person. So it'd be awesome to have that family support be there, and hopefully some friends this time with it being in Texas, and then just kind of go from there. I just can't even express how freaking excited I am to start this part of my journey, and I can't wait to share it with y'all. I'm going to get to work. I'll be sharing a snack with y'all soon, because like I said, it is after 10 o'clock, and I usually take a snack somewhere between 10 and 11, so I'll be back on to share a snack with y'all soon, and then lunch a little bit later. Other than that, I don't think y'all want to watch me sit at my computer and work, so see y'all later. All right, I am back to make a snack for this morning. It is now 11:04. I was just going to do an apple and a protein bar, which is kind of like my go-to snack right now, but I realized that I was out of protein bars and I have some fruit that I need to use up, and the apples will stay good a little bit longer than the bananas and the berries. So I decided to make this mug cake. It's a plant-based mug cake. It's got like maybe 6 ingredients in it. Super easy to make, takes like less than 5 minutes, and super delicious. I'm still trying to perfect it, but if y'all want the recipe, let me know in the comments below, and I will share that with you guys in another video. who's ready to go for a walk. Well, at least one of them is. You wanna go for a walk, Grace? You ready? You ready? Come on, let's go. Let's go. What's up, guys? I decided to come back and do a little bit of posing practice just to break up work a little bit for the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Also, I have not posed in a couple of weeks, so this might be kind of rocky. Shame on me. Guys, I finished up my posing practice, uploaded it for you guys to see what my body is looking at right now and how my posing is coming along during the season. Of course, we will tweak things as I get closer to stage. I am now very hungry, and so I'm gonna whip up some lunch. So today I just have some veggies. I'm trying to use up what I have in the fridge. So just got some veggies and some seitan that I made yesterday. And then I am going to put some of this teriyaki sauce on it, and that should hold me over until dinner. Excuse the loud washing machine in the background, but does anyone else have a weird dog that does this shit? I leave it on the edge of my bathtub to come get later, and he like rubs it all over this rug and then drags it into the bedroom. Why? Alright guys, I just got back from another walk with the dogs. We finished up most of our steps for the day. I'm at about 9,500 and I'll get the rest walking around the house during the day. That being said, I wanted to remind y'all about something when it comes to comparing yourselves with others. Because there was a time when my coach had made a post about how she gets like 20,000 steps during her day at work, and we have the same type of career. And I was like, what the heck? I only get like 10,000 on my work days during work. And then I stepped back for a second and was like, wait a second. My coach is like half my size, probably less than, less than half my size. So when her steps are probably like 3 to my 1, it makes sense that she has 20,000 steps versus my 10,000 steps a day. So just a little reminder there. I just finished up some laundry after I walked the dogs, and now I am going to sit down with this glass of wine and read my book until my babe gets home from work, and I will be back then. Some pasta and zucchini for dinner tonight, and we're just gonna hang out and relax until bed.